Guys, in this video, I'll be showing you primitive data types and how variable works in Java. So let's get started. First of all, I hope your installation went well. You should open the Eclipse app that you installed that I showed you in the previous video. Um, Provided you don't have that installed on your computer, please go to jdoodle.com, which you can see on your screen right now. Okay. All right. So hopefully you have Eclipse. I want you to feel free to pause this video if need be at any given point in time. And most importantly, I want you to also be practicing the code as well. I want you to always remember that consistency and your resilience is what's going to make you really fully master all the programming concepts that we are trying to teach, and that's what eventually leads to mastery as well. All right, so first of all, I want you to go to File. When your Eclipse is fully opened, go to New, and you should click on New Java Project. All right, let's give our Java project a name. In this case, it's just learning or something like that. So I'll just give it learning anyway. And I'll go to next. All right. And I would go to finish. All right. And yes. And the model name as well, just create. So what we've done pretty much is we've created a new project. Let me open MIT App Inventor if I still have that on my computer. So pretty much it's like you're creating a new project in App Inventor or in Snap or in Scratch. But in Java, you work with classes. Now, when you use a web application or a mobile application, I want you to think of it. Most mobile applications have many screens, and the same thing with web applications. It's pages in that case. So they have many pages. Each page can be considered as a class if the web application was built with Java. So each page can be considered as a class. So what we need to do is we need to create a new class. So to do that, we would right-click the project that we just created, right? To make sure that you have the same view as me, I want you to go to Windows. I want you to go to Show View and make sure that you click on Project Explorer so that you have the same view as me, pretty much. All right, so if you right-click the folder, all right, make sure that you close all the drop downs or whatnot, and you go to New. I want you to click on New Class. So this is like we're creating a new page or a new screen, because what we've done before is just a project, but nothing, right? So this class, let's give it secondary Java or something. I'll say secondary Java, and make sure that you click on public and make sure that check public static void string argument as well is checked as well, and then click on finish. All right, and this automatically generates some code for you. You see package learning, public class, second Java, blah, blah, blah. So let me explain to you what's going on here pretty much. And I'll just take away this comment pretty much because it's not necessary. Well, if you look at the first line 1, package learning, is telling you that this is the location of this project on your computer. Now, it's telling you that this program that we're about to write is in a class called secondary Java, and pretty much for each of the curly brackets you can see that there's a closing bracket for each of the curly brackets. So this is the main structure of Java, and your program will pretty much go in the highlighted part. All right, so again, I would like to draw your attention to block programming. If you've worked with MIT App Inventor before, you will notice that for each of the screen, in this case, each of the class, in App Inventor, each of the screen consists of buttons, of labels, of whatnot. It's the same thing with Java, except for those are regarded as objects in Java. All right, so let's look at what data types we have in Java. So to leave a comment in your program in Java, pretty much it just means I don't want Java to run this code. I'll give you the basic sentence format or the basic syntax format that we'll be using. just to declare our variables and set value to them. So first of all, we must have the data type. Then we have a variable name, all right, and we have the equals, and we put the values, and we end the argument. And I'm just going to end this. So pretty much this is telling the program that this is a comment, and when the program runs, every single line of code will be compiled except for line 7, which is a comment. That is, it's not part of the program to be written. So now let's look at the way variable works. When we talk about a variable, a variable is pretty much like a container that stores value temporarily, and the value can change. You'll have a better understanding before the end of this video. So, well, the data type in Java, we have int. Mind you, it's all lowercase int. It means integer. And so for integer, integer pretty much means it must be a whole number. So if I want to say I have 25 apples, I could say integer apples, the variable name, or I could say the variable name could be any name. So I could say numbers of apples, for example, and I would say equals 25, which is the value. All right. So if I go to CSAwesome, all right, type in CSAwesome, control space on your keyboard, it should automatically complete system.out.print line, which is what this means. If I print out this variable, num apples, all right, if I run it by clicking on this blue play button, I should have 25, all right? So integer, mind you, integer stores whole numbers. That's what it does. So pretty much, if you look at the format we have up, here, the data type in this case is integer, the variable name is number of apples, and the value is 25. Another data type we have is double. Mind you, it's all lowercase, right? And double, we mostly use, well, double is for decimal. So most times when you're talking about money, you want to use double. So in this case, I would say double money today, that is money I have today, equals $150.50, and I'll put it there. And if I change these, or if I say, okay, I want you to take away these, and instead I want you to print the money I have today, it will say 105 cents, because double will always return just one decimal point, apparently. Another data type we have is string, okay? And I'll just take this out. For string, we could say first name equals, and for string, mind you, everything needs to be in quotes. So I could say Adenuga, which is my first name, all right? And if I say another string, the S is capital in string, and I say last name. Mind you, I just, again, there's no special rule about naming your variables or whatnot. The basic rule is just you cannot put space in between. So if you'll be using two words, you can make the first word all lowercase, and the start of the second word, you can make that uppercase. That's just what you most likely see in all programs. And I put Jude right there. And if I come here and I say CSAwesome, I want you to print first, if it's spelled correctly, first name plus last name. All right, that variable, I don't know why it's not picking these. I hope it's spelled correctly. And I run that code, it should say, oh, exception. What happened? Because I haven't closed this argument, right? So the semicolon is very important. And you can see I still make these mistakes too. So you'll probably be making them. But the more you get used to it, and the more you get used to debugging and troubleshooting the errors, the better you feel comfortable, and the more you feel more proficient with your Java. Now, if you look at these, you'll see that both strings are joined together. So to make that not the case, I could just put a space at the start of the second string or at the end of the first string. And if I played and if I execute this code, it would say my name right there. Now, let's put things more in perspective and make this more fun. Let's look at this word problem.